York, a city steeped in centuries of history, is renowned not only for its medieval architecture and cobbled streets, but also for its reputation as one of the most haunted places in the world. From ancient spirits to modern-day apparitions, York's supernatural lore is as rich as its cultural heritage. The city's ghost stories span generations, blending the echoes of its distant past with the mysterious happenings of today. Whether it's the spectral soldiers of the Roman Empire marching through ancient cellars, or the restless spirits of those who met tragic ends, York's haunted legacy continues to captivate and intrigue. The oldest documented ghost story I've discovered in York dates back to the late 18th century, involving none other than Laurence Sterne, the famed author of The Life and Opinions of Tristram Shandy. Sterne resided for several years in 33 Stonegate, a location steeped in history itself. It was from the neighbouring house number 35 that the first 2 volumes of his celebrated novel were published. Today, this house has earned a reputation as one of York's most haunted locations. The haunting tales begin with the elderly gentleman who once lived next door to Sterne. This man, gripped by intense fear of being robbed as he laid in his bed each night, devised a peculiar method to ward off potential intruders. As the bells of York Minster tolled the midnight hour, he would repeatedly bang his walking stick against the wall next to his bed, hoping the noise would deter any lurking thieves. What makes this story truly chilling is what reportedly occurred after the old man's death. Despite the house being empty, the sound of knocking persisted, echoing through the night at the stroke of midnight, just as it had when the elderly gentleman was alive. This unnerving phenomena was heard coming from the very room that shared a wall with Laurence Sterne's home. Today, the adjoining room at number 35 Stonegate is famously known as the Seance Room. Though it was once an ordinary bedroom, it now carries the weight of the house's ghostly legacy. Visitors and paranormal enthusiasts are drawn to this spot, captivated by the eerie knockings that continue to mystify those who dare to listen. The tale of the aged gentleman's nocturnal ritual has since become an integral part of York's rich tapestry of supernatural lore, a testament to the city's long-standing connection with the unexplained. As we take a trip down the cobbled streets, a mysterious piece of CCTV footage shared by the Shambles Market on social media has left many baffled. The video appears to show a riderless bicycle slowly moving on its own through Little Shambles, eventually striking a curb and toppling over. Despite the eerie nature of the footage, no clear explanation has emerged, fueling speculation and intrigue among viewers. Mark Graham, the proprietor of the original Ghost Walk of York, weighed in on the enigmatic video in an interview with the Press newspaper. While he expressed skepticism about it being evidence of paranormal activity, he acknowledged the footage as undeniably puzzling. Graham, whose Ghost Walk frequently takes visitors through the historic Shambles, noted that this particular area has long been associated with strange and unexplained occurrences. He recounted stories he had heard from locals dating back to the 1960s, 70s and 80s, involving mysterious figures seen briefly in doorways only to vanish without a trace. These accounts, passed down through the years, add to the Shambles' reputation as a place steeped into the supernatural, where the ordinary and inexplicable often seem to intersect. One of York's most tragic and sorrowful ghost stories is that of Marmaduke Buckle, a figure whose life was marked by hardship and despair. Born in 1697, Marmaduke suffered from multiple physical disabilities, a condition that in the superstitious 17th century led to his unjust accusation of witchcraft. This cruel suspicion left him isolated and stigmatised, and he spent much of his short life confined to a house on Goodram Gate, which today is the home to La Piazza restaurant. As the weight of his circumstances became unbearable, Marmaduke made a fateful decision. On a day in 1715, overwhelmed by despair, he carved his initials, his birth year, and the date of the day in a wooden beam within the house. This sombre act was a prelude to his final tragic decision. He ended his life by hanging himself from that very beam he had just marked. The sorrow of Marmaduke's story lingers in the air of the building, and it is said that his restless spirit still haunts the area. Over the years, numerous reports have emerged of Marmaduke's ghostly presence. He is often blamed for strange occurrences in both the restaurant and adjacent pub. Patrons and staff have claimed to witness doors mysteriously closing on their own, and lights flickering on and off without explanation. Some have even described feeling of an unseen force, as if someone was trying to push them down the stairs in the pub next door. A chilling reminder of Marmaduke's tragic end. Further tales of Marmaduke's haunting have been shared by those who have visited or worked in the building. Some report seeing a shadowy figure moving through the rooms, while others speak of an inexplicable coldness that settles in the air, particularly around the beam where Marmaduke's carved his final message. These ghostly encounters have only added to the lore surrounding his story, making Marmaduke Buckle one of York's most poignant and enduring spirits. The story of Marmaduke Buckle is not just a tale of a haunting, it is a reminder of the cruelty and superstition that once dominated society. His lingering presence in the buildings on Goodrumgate serves as a tragic testament to a life cut short by despair and the lingering impact of his sorrow on those who cross his path today. York is renowned for its rich history and its high incidence of ghostly sightings, a reputation that extends into the modern era, with several reported encounters involving spirits dressed in contemporary clothing. Among the more recent apparitions is a smart casual man dressed in a modern beige attire, who has frequently been spotted near Bootham Bar. His presence is often reported by passerbys, adding a curious twist to the ancient city's story's supernatural history. Another hotspot for modern ghost sightings is the Blacksmith's Arms in Huntington, which is home to not one, but two distinct spirits. One of these is a man clad in an orange t-shirt who has been seen mysteriously passing through a door, even when it's shut and locked. This ghostly figure's ability to bypass physical barriers has left witnesses both perplexed and unsettled. The second ghost at the Blacksmith's Arms is described as a handsome and friendly man with long, dark, curly hair, dressed in blue overalls. He is often seen sitting and smiling at patrons, his demeanour strikingly warm and welcoming for a ghostly presence. In another unnerving encounter, a staff member at Haunted, a well-known York attraction, experienced a particularly eerie moment after hours. They spotted what appeared to be a regular visitor lingering in the building, dressed in jeans and trainers. The figure seemed entirely out of place given the time. When the staff member approached to escort them out, the figure turned a corner on the stairs and vanished into thin air, leaving behind only a lingering sense of unease. These modern ghost sightings in York add an intriguing layer to the city's already rich tapestry of supernatural lore. Unlike the traditional ghosts dressed in period attire, these spirits in modern clothing blur the lines between past and present, making York's haunted reputation more complex and mysterious. Whether they are the echoes of recent lives or something else entirely, these ghosts continue to intrigue and unsettle those who encounter them, proving that York's haunted history is very much alive. I suppose we should end in the pub, as is ritual. The Golden Fleece, one of York's oldest and most haunted inns, has a history stretching back to at least 1503, as noted in York City archives. It is believed that the building was originally owned by members of the Merchant Adventurers Guild, who traded in wool and fleeces. symbolised by the Golden Fleece that still hangs above the entrance. The inn has been welcoming guests since 1656, with its official licence granted in 1668. In the early 18th century, the Golden Fleece came under the ownership of John and Alice Peckett. John Peckett served as the Lord Mayor of York around 1702, and the inn's backyard is now named Lady Peckett's Yard, in honour of Alice. York is well known for its haunted history, and the Golden Fleece is no exception. The inn is reportedly haunted by at least 15 different spirits, with several of them being sighted, frequently enough to earn distinct nicknames. Let's explore some of the most notable spectres of the Golden Fleece. Lady Alice Peckett. The most famous ghost is believed to be that of Lady Alice Peckett herself. Numerous guests have reportedly seen and heard a woman ascending and descending the stairs in the dead of the night. Alice is also known for her penchant for rearranging furniture, dissatisfied with how it's been placed. Her presence is one of the most frequently encountered within the inn. But there's also another well-known ghost, and that is that of Jeff Monroe, a Canadian airman who met a tragic end during World War II. Monroe is said to have fallen to his death from one of the upper windows of the hotel. His spirit often appears to guests on the third floor, dressed in full military uniform. He doesn't speak. Instead, he stands silently in the darkness, staring down at those who see him. Two more unsettling spirits are One-Eyed Jack and a figure known as the Grumpy Man. One-Eyed Jack is easily identified by his 16th or 17th century red frock coat and the old-fashioned pistol he carries. He is often seen in the bottom of the bar of the pub. The Grumpy Man, often seen in Jack's company, sits at the bar like a regular patron. However, his angry glare and tendency to mutter curses before vanishing leaves behind a palpable sense of dread. In contrast to more malevolent spirits, the ghost of a young Victorian boy offers a more innocent presence. It is believed that the boy was tragically trampled to death by a horse while playing in front of the pub. Though he rarely interacts directly with the living, he is known for playing harmless pranks, accompanied by the sound of soft giggling. He is often seen in the bar, adding a touch of whimsy to the otherwise eerie atmosphere. Perhaps the most historic significant apparitions are the Roman soldiers who have been seen marching through the inn's cellar. These ghostly figures clad in full armour appear to be remnants of York's ancient past. Witnesses describe them as marching through the cellar walls, seemingly unaware of the living. These soldiers are believed to be residual hauntings, an imprint of the past left behind by the countless Roman troops who once occupied the city. The cellar of the Golden Fleece holds more than just the echoes of Roman soldiers. In centuries past, those sentenced to death by hanging at Bale Hill were brought to the inn's cellar after their execution. Their bodies would remain there until claimed by relatives. The grim history has undoubtedly left a dark mark on the building, contributing to the inn's reputation as one of the most haunted places in York. The Golden Fleece continues to be a focal point for those interested in the supernatural, with its rich history and numerous ghostly inhabitants drawing visitors from around the world. As you've explored the haunted streets and stories of York, it's clear that this city is more than just a historic landmark. It's a living, breathing tapestry of the past, woven with tales of the supernatural. From the ghostly apparitions of the Golden Fleece to the eerie encounters in the ancient shambles, York's paranormal presence is undeniable. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, these stories offer a fascinating glimpse into the city's rich history and mysterious heritage. Thank you for joining us on this journey through York's haunted history. If you've enjoyed these stories and want to hear more, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We'll continue to bring you more intriguing tales from York and beyond. Until next time, keep your eyes and ears open. You never know what might be lurking just around the corner.